and I'm a software developer. So Java is my field of specialty, the technology over which I am working for the past 5 to 8 years. But Python is something which I'm learning all by myself. So in this video I'll be guiding you on a topic in Python, and this topic would be about class. We'll be discussing that we will be discussing on that a class has a inbuilt method, that is, whenever we are creating an object of a class in Python, object of a class in Python, then some of the not some one default method gets called. So let me open up Notepad. Okay, Notepad is already opened. So let me clear this topic, and suppose we have to create a class in Python. So we will be simply writing the keyword class followed by the name of the class. Maybe the name of the class is HM School. HM School. That is the school from where I did my education. It is located in Motor. And within this class school, I'll be needing to do an indentation. So for indentation, I'm pressing tab. We have to define a function def and underscore init. So this init is the function whenever we are creating any object of a class in Python. So suppose I am creating an object obj, and inside that we will be creating an object of this class simply by calling HM School. So the object is being created. So whenever we are firing this object, creating an instance of an object, this particular init method is being called, and in this init method there is a parameter which it has by default. If no parameter is being set, this parameter stays by default. Now it is self. What does this self does is that this object HM School object is self. It is calling self of that object. Now this will be having two parameters. One of them is name and another may be role. So this init method constructor type of, so init is a constructor also, you can call it as a constructor also. So whenever object HM School is being the object of that particular instance of the class is created. So we all know that whenever in Java also, whenever we are creating an object of a particular class, then the constructor gets called by default. So this is the constructor, and it has two parameters within it. One is name and another one is role. And what it would be doing is that it simply, let me make the UI a little bit bigger, my working area. And within def means tab. One tab means inside the def, that is in this def portion. As you all know that in Python indentation matters. I'll be pressing another tab to set that these lines of code which I'm going to write, they are inside this constructor, inside this constructor scope. So I'll be writing self and self.name. So whatever value is being passed, that name would be stored inside this name, and also for the same self.role equals to role. So far so good. Now whenever we are creating any object, we cannot create object in this way because it doesn't have a default a constructor with no parameter. So we have to pass in two arguments. So for name, if we want to pass if we want to pass any string, we will be enclosing it within double quote, and it is Shomallo. Maybe the roll number is 21. And how to print this particular obj? What is inside this? So we will be simply writing how to print this object. That is a big question. Maybe we will be writing print and then obj. Let's see what happens if we do this particular thing. So we'll be copying all of this code, Control C, and we'll be moving to Visual Studio Code. There we will be creating a new file. Maybe that the name of the file is school.py. So this is the Python file, and let me paste the code which I have written in my notepad. Let me save the file, Control S, and move to console terminal. Let me clear out the terminal and run the program. So I'll be writing Python to execute the script Python, and then simply the name of that particular Python file is school.py. Let's press enter. Okay, so it has some problem with main. Okay, so HM School fine, HM School Shomallo 21 fine. So printing is not in this way. Okay, so what it is saying, main. Okay, so maybe we have to write obj.name. So obj.name has two parameter within it. I want to print that object's name parameter and also print obj.role. I think the code will run properly now. I have saved the file and I will be moving back to the terminal and run the program one more time. So show model 21. Now I have already discussed that HM school, this is the constructor one. This constructor gets automatically called whenever we are creating any instance of that class or creating an object of that class. Now similar to Java, this is the to get. So setter and getter method. So this is a setter method kind of. So likewise in Java we use the constructor to set values to initialize some parameter, to initial some variable parameter. So here also we are using the constructor to initialize the value of some parameter. Now to print this particular parameter, we can use, there is another method that is __str. So that is also another inbuilt function. So whenever we will be calling print and the name of that object of that the instance of that object, print, here in my case obj, it will be calling that str function. So let me also backspace. Okay, so the indentation is within this HM school. There will be a __ str function. This also gets called automatically, and what it will be calling is that it will be using self, and from this self it will be printing. So it will be a raw format. For that reason we will be writing f, and then within two curly braces I will be writing self.name, and it will also be printing. There should be some spaces, so there is a comma, then there is a space, and then self.role. Okay, fine. Now what will we need to do, that whenever we don't need these two lines anymore. We will be commenting out, pressing control hash before the line, that means commenting out the line, and we will be simply saying print, and then we will be using this as obj. We will be printing the object. Fine. Now let's move back to terminal and see what happens if I run this particular line of code. So see, okay, so there is some str return non-string. Okay, so I need to return this also. I will be saying return. Now let's run the code one more time. Okay, show model 91. It's working fine. Now in object-oriented programming, we are not revealing, that is data abstraction. We are not revealing the whole of the code to the programmer in one. So their structure might be something different. So what we will be doing is that we will be moving this portion of code to another file, and then inside that second file we will be calling this particular HM school class. We will be reutilizing that. For that reason, let me cut out this particular portion, Control X, and let me create a new file. Maybe the name of that file would be callback.py. And how to import this, as we say import. So we will be import what? Import school, and from that school we will be referring the school with the name of school no more. We will be referring it as S. So import school as S. Now we need to create an object. We will be pressing Ctrl V, and this s.hm school. Okay, fine, and print obj. Let me press save, Ctrl S, and roll back to my terminal, and let me clear out the console and run the program one more time. We'll be writing Python and then callback.py. Fine, callback.py, and press enter. Okay, show model 21. It's printing twice because I didn't comment out. Okay, so I didn't save the file here. Let me save the file, Ctrl S, and let me again move back to call.py, and let me clear out the console. CLS, run the file one more last time, and it will be printing only one, show model 21. So let me, before ending the video, let me guide you what I did. So inside school.py, this file, there is a class which is HM school, and it has a constructor in it. This constructor gets called whenever we are creating an instance of the HM school class, and inside that there is a self says that whatever values are there, that object comes within the self, and that object is saying that object.name role. That means that object are initializing the name with the name which is passed as a parameter in the constructor, And there is also another function similar to toString method, and it is __ str. It self does, it takes a parameter self, and this self will be revealing the name and the role. And inside that another file callback, we can say import school as s. Show object means h.hm school, but if we didn't write this particular line that hm school as is, then what we have to do, we have to write here the whole of the name of the school.hm school. So we can shorten the name of that particular file by simply saying school as is. Also, let me run this program this time to show you that no changes has been incurred in my program. So see, Somala 21. So if we want to, we don't want to write the bother on writing this school, this whole, the file name might be a little bit longer, or maybe it has many characters in it. If we want to shorten it, then we can simply write import school as that shortened character and use it in this way. So this is a small guide on you on about classes and calling that class from another function. So in Python, hope you have liked it, and if this clear out any basic basics of your needs, it will be a great advantage or whatever it is to me. Let's not elongate this video anymore. I am not so much good with my talkings. Anyways, so far so good. Happy coding. Thank you guys. Bye bye.